This rusty old tugboat is now in permanent dry dock. Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to MapleLeaf Customs in Switzerland. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today are some pictures for a large-scale 3D print project of a fantasy all-terrain tugboat. It's based on a concept model that I found online on the artstation.com website. The very talented artist is Jenna Ong. She calls her creation the Hermit crab, and I was hooked as soon as I saw it. I sourced several different 3D model sites to put this together as my 3D version of her 2D artwork. I used both my Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra resin printer as well as my newer Elegoo Centauri Carbon FDM printer to produce all the parts I'm going to need. I made the frame assembly, these black parts, out of the filament printer, so they'll be a little stiffer. The hull of the tugboat that you see here was one of the parts that I downloaded from Thingiverse, which is compatible with this deck piece. I'll have to put them together with some epoxy, of course. And the cabin, which sits in place right there. Printing in 3 pieces is easier than trying to put it all together and printing one. I've learned from experience. These are some tractor dualies that I created years ago for my original Fury Road Gigahorse. I just resized them. These front tires came from my more recent Fury Road 6-foot build, also resized for the tugboat project. You'll notice in the original artwork that the tires are not all the same. So I didn't make a design or printing mistake. These are all actually bang on. The smaller tires in a variety of sizes will go along both sides as bumpers. I've got a nicely detailed anchor here. And check the original pics again. There's a cow skull that fits right through the ring of the anchor like this. I'm trying to catch all the details that I can. Here's my frame that'll take 3 axles and 6 sets of wheels. I built this piece and measured it to size to fit the keel of the hull. That'll be one of the last things I do, is connect it all together. Some oil drums, as per the original artwork, with a reminder look of what I'm going for. After this short 3D project excursion, it's back to the little die-cast cars for me. You'll see an Alfa Romeo, a Renault Twizy, that should be fun, and a classic 56 Corvette, and a 59 Cadillac Hearse for a Movie Monsters theme build. I hope you'll bookmark my site and come on back here every Saturday for a fresh upload. Because of the larger size of this 3D project, there's a lot of landscape to cover, which is why I'm using a spray can to do the primer of the hull, the cabin, and the deck. All of the 3D printed tires got done in a matte black primer. Once everything is dry, I'm able to airbrush on a special color mix, sort of a reddish brown that I made up to match Jenna Ong's artwork. I'll give that 2 full coats for coverage. I detail the wheel hubs by hand brushing on a little bit of silver, but these will not remain so clean. Everything's going to get fully weathered up by the end of the project. These are the inserts for the front tires. Today's community shout-out goes to Brinkley Kustoms. I like to introduce you to some new people and hope you'll get to know them and become regular visitors. Click on the link I put in the description to this video. I've put the hull and the deck together now, and I'm going to go around that seam with a little bit of modeling putty just to make it watertight. And I did a little bit of sandpaper scuffing on my new paint job to make it look well worn. The oversized all-terrain wheels are now going on axle by axle. The dualies are spaced out in the back. There's my vision of a differential. And the front tires are in. And you can see we've got a roller. Alright, that's working out well so far. A little more frame structure to come. The 3D printed cabin had solid windows instead of cutouts that I would have preferred, so for simplicity I'm painting them in a high gloss black. In a minor deviation from the original artwork, I'm going with one straight exhaust pipe on both sides. I think it still suits the story of an all-terrain tugboat. I'm rigging up the bumper tires now. They're actually super glued to the hull, and I'll rope them in later, once I've got them all positioned and spaced out the way I want. It's taking shape. I hope you can tell it's a tugboat. If anyone falls overboard now onto the desert terrain, it would still be polite to throw them a life preserver. Maybe these are just remnants left over from its waterborne days. Another reminder of when it was in the salty air are some rust spots. I do that by first applying a little bit of dark brown with a toothpick, then almost washing it out with a wet brush until there's just some light streaking left. All part of the personality of the old tug. My bumper tires are all roped in. You can see the oil drums and some lumber in the back. And I haven't forgotten about the cow's skull that was printed up. It gets seated in the eye of the anchor, just like that. Finally ready to mount the hull and the deck assembly onto the frame. You'll see I added some heavy coil spring suspension, just for looks, It actually fits tight and snug in there, even without some super glue. Now for some final dusty trail weathering on the big tires. Make sure the treads look like they've got some desert miles on them. Up front where it catches a lot of dust. And all around. Couple of final touches included a scratch-built radar and antenna mast and a dirty old tarpaulin that partially covers the oil drums in the back. Let's have a closer look. I'm handling it gingerly just because of all of the added-on pieces, but I have achieved the look that I was after from the onset. It's a fantasy all-terrain tugboat, now properly retrofit for trekking across the desert, but keeping all of its personality as an old harbor workhorse. Lots of details from stem to stern on this fantasy creation. Cargo net up front holding a couple of wooden crates. Life preservers, communication gear. It's got it all.
Hey, you ever think about naming this old boat? It's bad luck to have a boat without a name.
I'd never named a boat before, but there was only one I could think of. The most beautiful name in the wide world.
For the lovely Petra, who has towed my heart into the harbor of love, thrown me the life preserver of matrimony, and you get the picture. I could never make this one as beautiful as my wife, but it's not supposed to be. This is the old tug, dry docked after years of hard work and collecting barnacles, ready for the open road. I really applaud Jenna Ong's artistry and creativity. I left a link in the description for her artwork, which served as my inspiration for the All Terrain Tugboat. I hope you enjoyed the ride today and that you'll give this video a thumbs up along with a respectful comment and tell me where you're watching from. Come on back soon and often. It's coffee time.